is back to school season where everyone is trying to figure out easy ways to pack a nutritious lunch that's also delicious and just like wonderful and good for you and interesting. So today I'm going to show you 2 ways to make bento boxes and talk you through how to make a bento box that is great for school, that's great for work, and even just meal planning. So building a bento box is super easy. It takes that like sushi bento box theme and style and applies it to work lunches and school lunches. So step number 1 is get a box. Any lunch box will do. I like the ones that do have the separators. I also use these silicone cupcake liners. I like to use those as dividers. So nothing's really touching. It doesn't really bleed, like the foods don't bleed into each other. So there's something with sauces or like creamier items, you can put them in those and it just kind of keeps everything separate. Looks really fun too. The other thing I like to do using these little compartments is just separating your lunches into 4 different groups. Well, technically 5. You have your carbs, you have your protein, you have fruits, and you have veggies. And then number 5, which I like to add, is like a little sweet treat or snack. So kind of using that rule will help you create like a really colorful and balanced lunch. The other thing that makes everything super easy is if you prepare a bunch of days in advance. And then you can create 2 different kinds and just alternate so you're not eating the same thing every day. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make them today. I'm going to show you 1 tofu dish and then 1 mini protein pancake mix, which is great for like if you take your breakfast on the go, but it also makes a really nice, nutritious, and protein filled lunch. This is how I meal prep at home. Like I make multiple different foods and then I just kind of alternate throughout the week. Without further ado, let's get started on the first meal that I'm going to show you, the first bento box. The first bento box is a sesame and ginger tofu dish. The first thing you have to make is your tofu. Now I pressed and cut up tofu cubes. This tofu was in the freezer, so it's extra spongy, but you can use any firm or extra firm tofu that you want. We are going to marinate it, and then we are going to cook it in the air fryer because air fryers are super hands-off. It's quick, it's easy, it gets it done right away, makes it nice and crispy. First thing I'm going to do is add some soy sauce to a large bowl, maple syrup, balsamic vinegar. And what we're doing here is making both the marinade and also the sauce. We're gonna add some garlic, ginger, and some sesame oil. Then just dump in your tofu and toss to coat. Now let this sit for about 15 minutes. I mean, you can do it up to 2 days, but if you're doing a bunch right away, you can just let this sit and prep everything else that you're putting in your bowl and then cook it. Letting it sit for about 15 minutes just helps marinate it. After 15 minutes, just take your cubes, throw them into the base of your air fryer. If you want them to be extra crispy, do them just in a single layer and do batches. But for the sake of speed, which is the whole point of meal prepping in the first place, I like to just throw them all in there. And shake off any excess into the bowl because you are going to use this as a sauce after. And if you don't have an air fryer, you can do it in the oven, just bake it, or you can fry it up in a pan. While we're waiting for that to bake, let's put together the other stuff in our bento box. So the main like protein and carb in this guy is going to be mini protein pancakes. So I'm just using the batter from my pancake recipe that's on my website, and I'm just adding 1 scoop of protein. Now you can use whatever your favorite protein powder is and add more of your favorite plant-based milk to even out the texture because you do want it to be a batter. Just give it a good whisk to get rid of any lumps. All right, to portion these guys out, I'm just using a little mini melon baller to make tiny little pancakes. So just voila. And you can totally go in and like, I don't know, if you are meal prepping, do some banana for some days and blueberry for other days and like chocolate chip or whatever flavor of pancakes you really love. Don't touch. The tourist in me hates this. Don't touch. For the fruit, I'm going to add in some orange wedges. All right, we have our pancakes. For the pancakes, I just have some peanut butter here that you can spread on the pancakes or dip the pancakes in the peanut butter, and I'm going to top that with some hemp seeds. For our vegetables, I thought it would be cute to have these tiny peppers. You can just buy them, you know, these little mini peppers at the store. and just fill that with hummus. Oh, man overboard. And also the tighter you pack these guys, the better, because then they won't shift around. For our little snack, just some chocolate chips, which also go well with the pancakes. You can do like a little chocolate chip peanut butter pancake sandwich if you wanted to. So this box is really good. Like you can do it as a breakfast box or a snack box. And also with the pancakes, you can make them savory pancakes. So you could add some like vegan cream cheese in here for the pancakes to slather on there. And then like cucumber, and then you can almost do like a protein pancake cucumber and cream cheese sandwich. So you can get really creative with it. It doesn't have to be sweet like this. You can definitely make it savory, just depending on, you know, what sauces you're providing. Bento box number 2, we're going to add some rice. Now you can use whatever rice you want. You can use quinoa, you can use brown rice, whatever. I just have some wild rice here. For our veggies, going to add some cucumber and then some carrot sticks. You can add a dip for the carrot sticks if you want. Then for our fruit, I'm gonna use some bloobs, and then we can just add our tofu. For the snack, I'm just going to use some granola. Oh look, the little cup is the same color as my nails. Cute, cute. So this is just like a hemp and chocolate granola, and you can toss that in there. And again, this is completely customizable. You can use whatever berries you want, whatever vegetables you want, and you can just toss the sauce in here as well. You can just add it like that. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome to my fridge. I'm just putting these bento boxes in my fridge for lunch for the rest of the week. But if you like these recipes, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You can watch me from my fridge every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. And let me know in the comment section below what recipes you want to see next. Okay, bye.